somewhere in the world, someone is falling in love through, like, handwritten letters. Someone is yearning across a crowded ballroom, and someone is making eye contact for exactly 3 seconds and mentally planning an entire spring wedding. And honestly, babes, that is the kind of absolute unhinged delusion we completely support.
Babes, welcome back. If no one has told you today, let me just be the first to say it. You are stunning. Your outfit is working. Your hair is doing that thing you like. And thank you for being here, you beautiful, beautiful babes.
We are so incredibly happy you're hanging out with us today because we need to talk. We have a very important update for the Snark Squad.
Oh, we absolutely do. Say it. Tell them right now.
Okay, babes. The rosé is officially on deck.
It is on deck. It is in our hands. And yes,
We absolutely ran it through the ninja slush.
we did it.
We broke down, we put the expensive wine in the freezing machine, and we made it happen.
I am declaring it right now. It is giving summer baddies, garden parties, and, like, expensive taste on a highly questionable budget, and I am completely obsessed.
Completely.
I mean, I don't think I can ever drink room temperature or even just conventionally chilled wine ever again. This has ruined me in the best way.
No, I am literally insisting that every single wine should now be frozen. Like, why were we drinking liquid wine like peasants?
It's barbaric.
The icy texture of this, it's perfect. It holds the fruity flavor so well.
Yeah, there's actual science to this, right? Like, when you freeze it, it suppresses some of the volatile acidic compounds.
Oh, look at you with the chemistry.
Right, so you get this incredibly smooth, concentrated fruit profile on your palate, but it gives you that aggressive brain freeze that just reminds you you're alive.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
like an adult ICE, but it makes you want to start drama at a country club.
It really is the official drink of reading outside in the sunshine while fully ignoring all of your responsibilities.
Oh, 100%.
You hold this glass, and the condensation is dripping down your hand, and you instantly feel like the wealthy, unhinged aunt in every romance novel.
You know the exact aunt we're talking about.
Yes, the one who shows up to the family estate with a questionable younger companion wearing a massive sun hat and just casually drops devastating family secrets over a brunch spread.
Yes. The aunt who's just like, oh, your father, he's been deeply in debt to the crown since 1812, pass the marmalade.
That is exactly the energy this frozen rosé is giving me.
And honestly, we need it. It is entirely necessary because today has been a whole mood.
It really has.
I need to confess something to the Snark Squad right now. My summer fitness goals, the ones I talked about so enthusiastically in May, they have completely, spectacularly fallen apart.
Oh, we are in the exact same boat. Let the historical record show that neither of us has been to Pilates in forever.
Literally forever.
I don't even know where my grip socks are. They are lost to the void.
Gone.
I think my dog ate one, and I used the other to dust the top of my ceiling fan.
Yeah.
And nobody has gone running in over a week.
Athletic ambition has been fully replaced with iced drinks and snacks. The only lifting I have been doing, and I mean the only lifting, is lifting heavy artisan charcuterie boards from the kitchen island to the coffee table.
That's a workout.
I will argue that takes core strength. Okay. Balancing the prosciutto so it doesn't touch the fig jam while navigating around a sectional sofa.
That's agility right there.
That's proprioception. Rest is a crucial part of wellness, babes.
Definitely.
My parasympathetic nervous system requires me to recline. If I am not reclining, I am not healing.
I support this deeply. And I would analytically argue that scrolling fitness TikToks should absolutely count as cardiovascular exercise.
For sure.
My thumbs are getting a massive workout.
Oh.
But beyond that, when I watch someone do a Bulgarian split squat on my For You page while holding kettlebells, my heart rate elevates out of pure sympathetic anxiety.
Yeah, panic.
Right. My body thinks I am under threat. That is aerobic conditioning right there. The cortisol spike alone is burning calories.
We are fully, shamelessly embracing soft girl summer with absolutely zero guilt.
Zero guilt. Soft girl summer is about preserving our peace, our joints, and our sanity.
Yes. But, okay, since it's almost the end of the week, and we love a little reflection before the weekend chaos begins, we wanted to share the 3 biggest life lessons we learned this week.
Because it has been a week of profound, chaotic realizations.
Do you want me to go first?
Please, bless us with your messy wisdom.
Okay, here are my 3 lessons. Number 1, never, ever trust someone whose dating profile says, just seeing where life takes me.
Ooh, the biggest red flag. The banner of the avoidant attachment style.
Exactly. We have to look at the mechanism behind that phrase. Seeing where life takes me translates directly to, I will make absolutely zero plans. I will text you at 11 p.m. on a Thursday, and I will inevitably flake because my buddy bought last-minute tickets to a monster truck rally.
Wow.
It is a threat, not a bio. It means they want the girlfriend experience with zero of the structural accountability.
Yeah, they want all the perks and none of the work.
I went out with a guy who had this in his profile, and when I asked him what he wanted to do for dinner, he literally looked at me and said, I'm just vibing. You cannot eat a vibe.
It's a complete abdication of responsibility. They were telling you up front that they're going to be a passenger in their own life, and by extension, a passenger in your relationship.
Yeah.
You'll be driving the car, paying for the gas, and figuring out the directions while they see where life takes them from the passenger seat. Absolute no.
Thank you. Okay, my second lesson. Always order dessert.
Obviously.
I was out to dinner. I tried to play it cool and be like, oh, I'm too full. I'm being so good. And then I watched the waiter bring a warm chocolate lava cake to the table next to us.
Tragic.
I almost cried into my cloth napkin. Never deny yourself the sweet treat.
There is an evolutionary biological imperative for the sweet treat. It is the anchor of the human psyche.
Wait, really?
Yes. If you don't end the meal with a sugar spike, your brain doesn't register that the foraging period is over. It's just basic biology. You are keeping your body in a state of suspense. Give it the lava cake.
I am writing that down to use as an excuse forever. And my third lesson, confidence is sometimes literally just pretending you know exactly what you're doing until everyone around you believes it.
Oh, the fake it till you make it strategy.
Yes. I was in a meeting. I completely lost my place in my notes. And instead of panicking, I just utilized the as if principle.
Okay.
I acted as if I was deep in thought. I paused, looked deeply into my coffee mug, narrowed my eyes, and nodded slowly. People thought I was pondering the macroeconomic mysteries of the universe.
When you were actually just blanking.
I was actually just trying to remember my own middle name.
Honestly, that is CEO behavior. It's all about the strategic pause. You weaponize to silence. When you don't speak, people project intelligence onto you.
They really do.
Okay, my turn. My 3 life lessons from this week. Number 1, being a dentist does not automatically make you an adult.
Wait, I love this because you literally drill into people's skulls for a living. You have medical degrees.
Right. I am a highly trained medical professional. People trust me with their most sensitive cranial nerves. I understand the complex biomechanics of the jaw. And yet this week, I realized I have been eating dry cereal out of a plastic Tupperware container for 3 days because I flat out refuse to run the dishwasher.
Oh my God.
Just because I look at molars all day and use big words like periodontal disease does not mean I have the executive function to handle domestic chores. The compartmentalization of competence is real.
It is so real. You are a genius in the clinic and a feral raccoon in your kitchen.
Precisely.
Oh.
My second lesson. Sugar daddies remain surprisingly difficult to locate in the wild, despite the current macroeconomic climate.
It's a tragedy, honestly. The economy is terrible. Inflation is rampant. Where are the benefactors?
I was at a very upscale, absurdly expensive coffee shop, reading a thick, hardcover book, trying to look mysterious and financially burdensome. I was giving high-maintenance, expensive energy.
As you should.
And the only person who approached me was a guy in a Patagonia vest, asking if I could watch his laptop while he went to the bathroom.
No.
No, sir. I am not unpaid security. I am looking to be kept. Which brings me to lesson 3. Online dating is basically unpaid investigative journalism.
It really is. The amount of open source intelligence gathering we have to do, the FBI should be actively recruiting from the Snark squad.
I matched with a guy who said he loved the outdoors. 10 minutes of deep dive sleuthing later, I found his tagged photos from 2018.
Let me guess.
His idea of the outdoors was sitting on a patio at a brewery that had a retractable roof.
Oh my God.
Sir, you do not love the outdoors. You love IPAs and ambient lighting.
Ugh.
I am out here cross-referencing LinkedIn work histories, Venmo public transactions, and tagged Instagram photos just to make sure a man isn't secretly married with a mortgage and 3 kids in Connecticut.
Right.
The sheer volume of data analytics required to date a man in his 30s is exhausting.
It is beyond exhausting, which is exactly why we turn to historical fiction.
Yeah.
Because real modern men are giving us nothing but high blood pressure and IPAs.
Exactly.
So, babes, enough about our own chaotic lives. Let's get into today's book, the television event of the season.
Let's do it. We are dissecting episodes 7 and 8 of The Other Bennet Sister. And let me tell you, my nervous system has not known peace since the credits rolled.
I am emotionally compromised. I am messy. I have been screaming at my television for 2 days straight. Let's just start right where episode 7 kicked up, with the absolute unmitigated audacity of William Ryder, the Be My Mistress carryover scene.
Let's unpack the sheer breathtaking delusion of this man.
I was reacting so emotionally to this. William Ryder looks Mary dead in her beautiful face and offers her a life living in Italy unburdened by the shackles of marriage. He frames it as this beautiful bohemian romantic freedom, reading poetry, drinking wine, living free. Come with me to Florence. We don't need a piece of paper to validate our love.
It's nauseating.
And I was ready to throw hands at the screen. The absolute audacity of offering a Regency-era woman a position as a mistress and trying to package it as some sort of feminist awakening.
It is the ultimate red flag.
Yeah.
But let's look at the actual mechanism of why this is so dangerous. Because I want to push back on the idea that he's just a standard Regency fuckboy.
Oh.
He is actually much worse. He's a predator masked as a romantic, and we have to analyze the socioeconomic reality of what he's actually asking her to do.
Break it down, because I just saw red.
He entirely ignores the massive double standard of the era regarding the demi-monde, the class of women who lived on the fringes of respectable society. Ryder is a wealthy aristocrat.
Right.
He can go to Italy, take a mistress, live there for 5 years, and when he eventually comes back to London high society, they will literally throw a ball in his honor and call him worldly and well-traveled.
Exactly. The men at the club would be slapping him on the back, asking for the details of his Italian conquests.
Exactly. But Mary, we have to look at the legal and financial mechanisms of 1810s England. A woman's reputation was literally her only currency. Under the laws of coverture, women barely had legal rights, so social standing was their only protection.
Yep.
If Mary goes to Italy unburdened by the shackles of marriage, she is ruined forever. It is a social and financial death sentence. Her reputation is dead. Her family's reputation is dead.
Oh, completely.
Jane and Elizabeth, her sisters, would probably be cast out of polite society because the taint of a fallen sister was considered contagious. Mary would never be able to show her face in England again.
It's so unfair.
And when Ryder inevitably gets bored of her, which he would because he has the attention span of a gnat, she would have no legal recourse, no alimony, no settlement, nothing. She would be destitute in a foreign country.
It's so dark when you put it like that. It's almost worse than if he had just been blunt and said, I want to sleep with you, but I don't want to marry you. By trying to dress it up as freedom, he's actively gaslighting her. He's trying to make her feel like she's the boring, conventional, closed-minded one for wanting the legal and financial protection of a marriage.
It's coercive.
It really is. As one of our fellow fans pointed out online, marriage was the only union card a woman had to protect herself against ruin in that time. It's embarrassing for him, honestly. Get away from me with that philosophical nonsense, Mr. Ryder.
And thank God Mary has the emotional intelligence to see right through it. Which leads us perfectly into the Lake District era. Mary escapes. She gets away from her hypercritical, absolute raging narcissist of a mother, Mrs. Bennet.
Oh my God, Mrs. Bennet. I loathe her. I physically loathe her.
It's awful.
When she tells Mary she's a disappointment, when she constantly picks at Mary's appearance, her reading habits, her entire existence, I was screaming.
It's hard to watch.
But then Mrs. Gardiner steps in. Babes, Mrs. Gardiner's a real one. She is the MVP of the entire Austen universe. She's the supportive mother figure Mary always deserved.
Let's analyze the family systems at play here. Mrs. Bennet is operating as a classic narcissistic parent, and Mary has been designated as the family scapegoat. Jane is the golden child, Elizabeth is the rebellious mirror, but Mary is the receptacle for all of Mrs. Bennet's anxieties about class and poverty.
Wow, yes.
Mrs. Gardiner, on the other hand, provides a completely different psychological framework. She treats Mary with kindness and respect just because she's a human being.
What a concept.
Right. She doesn't owe Mary anything, but she sees this girl being crushed under the toxic, cortisol-inducing cloud of her mother's negativity, and she literally scoops her up and says, we're going to the lakes, you need fresh air, a change of scenery, and to get away from the people who are actively destroying your self-worth.
And it kicks off Mary's ultimate soft girl era. I was celebrating in my living room. She is up there reading William Wordsworth's lyrical ballads. She's finding her independence.
It's thriving.
She realizes she doesn't have to shrink herself to fit into her family's miserable expectations. She can just exist. She can look at a mountain and not feel like she has to apologize for taking up space.
It's a beautiful nervous system reset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very intentional that she's reading Wordsworth.
Yeah.
The entire romantic literary movement was grounded in the philosophy that nature is a sublime healing force that cures the corruption and rigid structures of society.
Oh, I love that.
Mary is literally healing her inner child by engaging with nature. But of course, the universe abhors a vacuum, especially a romantic one. So just as Mary is finding her peace and regulating her breathing, who shows up for breakfast? Tom Hayward.
The man.
And babes, he is single, he is employed, and he is ready to mingle.
The gossip, the tea. Anne Baxter dumped Tom because he works too hard.
The irony.
He's a junior barrister, he's grinding, he's building his career from the ground up, and Anne was like, this is boring, you're always reading legal briefs, I want someone who has time to go to balls.
He wanted a party boy.
And the absolute kicker, she is already engaged to someone else. The turnaround time on that engagement was terrifying. We are talking less than a month. Anne Baxter operates with military efficiency.
It's impressive, honestly.
But honestly, thank you, Anne Baxter, for your hypergamy, because Tom is single, and the Gardiners so conveniently bring him to breakfast.
The chemistry shift the second he sits down is palpable. It completely changes the energy of the room. And there is some fascinating behind-the-scenes analysis we need to do about Tom's character development here, because adapting him from the original book to the screen was a delicate process.
Ooh, tell us.
When the creators were first sketching out Tom for the show, they really struggled because in the source text, he can come across as slightly too fatherly, like he's this older, wiser man patting Mary on the head and saying, "Oh, aren't you an amusingly serious little creature?"
Ugh, the worst. The patronizing older man trope. We hate it. It strips the female character of her agency and turns the relationship into a weird teacher-student dynamic.
Exactly. It completely undermines the romance. So the creator, Sarah Quintrell, actually sat down with the actor, Donald Finn, right after casting him and was like, listen, we're rewriting Tom.
Yeah.
We are making him a male Mary. We are actively stripping away his cool factor.
Stop! I love that!
And Donald apparently thought he was going to get to play this suave, witty, Mr. Darcy-esque leading man. And she was like, no such luck, my friend. You are going to be a massive, unapologetic dork. You are going to be earnest, slightly awkward, and deeply nerdy.
Yes!
And it works perfectly. Psychologically, it makes them perfectly matched.
They match each other's freak. They completely match each other's freak, and it is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen on television. I was losing my mind, kicking my feet, giggling at their flirtation. Babes, they literally flirt by discussing the 30% mortality rate of smallpox victims. Yeah. Who does that?
They do. Because for people like Mary and Tom, people who are deeply intellectual but socially anxious facts are a love language.
And the mice. Let us not forget the mice. They are passionately debating whether mice prefer cheese or root vegetables and grains. And they are looking at each other with such intense visceral yearning while talking about rodents.
It's incredible. Yeah. Because you have to look at why they communicate this way. Mary has been traumatized by a mother who operates entirely on erratic emotion and hysteria.
Right.
For Mary, whimsy and unchecked emotion are dangerous. They are unpredictable. Facts, data, and agricultural statistics, those are safe. Those are constants. When Tom engages with her on that level, he is signaling to her, I am safe, I am predictable, I value your mind.
Yes. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. That is exactly why the fabric shop scene is so amazing. He is buying her fabric and she's trying to choose colors, and it's so incredibly awkward, but so endearing.
Very sweet.
And then the ultimate swoon moment, Tom buys Mary a poetry book. But it's not just any poetry book. It's Wordsworth's Guide to the Lakes. It's a practical guide written by a poet. And Mary looks at him, totally confident, holding her ground, and says, I prefer facts to whimsy.
And that, right there, is how you know they're soulmates.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get offended. He doesn't try to correct her or explain the poetry to her like some condescending mansplainer.
Thank goodness.
He loves it. He loves that she challenges him. He loves that she is a scholar of facts. They don't need grand, sweeping, poetic gestures that mean absolutely nothing like writers' fake Italian freedom offer. They need shared hyperfixations. They need to sit next to each other in a dimly lit library and aggressively debate agricultural crop rotation.
Which leads us to the viral scene, the bird calling scene. I must have rewound this part 4 times. They are strolling through the forest, the sunlight is dappling through the trees, and they just start making thrush and lark calls at each other.
It's adorable.
It's so goofy, it's so silly, and it's the ultimate representation of just being completely comfortable engaging in play with another adult.
It is. The psychology of shared play in adult relationships is actually one of the highest indicators of long-term marital success. It builds an insulated world between the two partners, and the behind-the-scenes trivia on this scene makes it even better.
Wait, there's trivia.
Yes. Donald Finn is actually a fantastic singer in real life with this incredible, classically trained, commanding voice. So his London thrush impression was genuinely musically exceptional.
Oh, wow.
But the best part is that the actors were improvising heavily. Donald kept changing the pitch and the cadence of the bird noises to try and break Ella, the actress playing Mary. He was making her laugh so hard that they kept ruining takes. The entire crew had to stop working because the camera operators were shaking with laughter.
I love that. You can see it on screen. She is fighting for her life, trying not to break character and laugh at him. Her eyes are crinkling. She's biting her lip. It's so real.
The director noted that the crew was literally beaming at them. Just watching these two actors play and have so much authentic joy, and that translates directly to the screen. You believe they are falling in love because the joy you are seeing isn't manufactured, it's authentic human connection.
But because we live in a cruel world and can never have nice things, the joy is violently, rudely interrupted. I spiraled into such a rage during this part.
It's infuriating.
Tom and Mary are having this deeply romantic, quiet boat ride on the lake. They are on the water. The romantic tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. They are right on the edge of finally confessing their feelings to each other. And who crashes the peaceful vacation? William Ryder.
The absolute menace of the Lake District.
And he doesn't just come alone. He brings the absolute worst people in all of England. He brings Caroline Bingley and the Hursts.
I will shade Caroline Bingley until the end of time. She is a societal swamp monster. And frankly, the crew of the show agreed with us.
They did.
Yeah, when Tanya Reynolds, who plays Caroline with absolute perfection, delivered her nasty snide lines to Mary on set, the crew actually booed her from behind the cameras.
No, that is amazing. I love that the crew was so invested in protecting Mary.
Yes. Tanya was apparently laughing and going, guys, I didn't write it, I'm just acting. But she played the passive-aggressive, mean girl aristocratic energy so perfectly evil that everyone viscerally hated her. But we need to talk about Ryder's absolutely chaotic behavior here.
Yeah.
Because this man is a walking disaster zone. He dumps Tom out of the boat.
The boat flip.
He literally tips the boat, plunging Tom into the freezing lake just so he, Ryder, can swim in his clothes. Because he thinks it makes him look like a charming, carefree, passionate, Byron-esque boy.
He thinks he's the main character in a romance novel, but he's actually just destroying people's personal property and risking hypothermia.
Exactly. And let's analyze the class blindness here. Ryder is totally oblivious to the socioeconomic reality of the man sitting across from him. Tom is a junior barrister. Tom works for a living. Tom does not have an endless wardrobe of tailored coats. More importantly, laundering clothes in 1810 was an incredibly harsh, expensive process involving boiling water, lye soap, and physical beating of the garments. Tom likely has to pay a significant percentage of his weekly income to have his clothes professionally laundered, and wool broadcloth coats could easily be permanently ruined by being fully submerged in dirty lake water.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Ryder doesn't even think about the financial inconvenience or the physical destruction he causes other people. It highlights his blinding inherited privilege. He thinks the entire world is his personal playground, and he doesn't care who gets wet or who has to pay the exorbitant dry cleaning bill.
It's so selfish. He is treating Tom like an NPC in his own life, and then the heartbreak really sets in. Because Ryder didn't just come to the lakes to be annoying, he came because there's been a massive shift in his status. He inherited Lady Catherine de Bourgh's massive fortune. He is incredibly, unfathomably rich now. And what does he do? He decides he wants to properly propose to Mary.
Right.
Not the Italian mistress nonsense, a real, legal, church-sanctioned proposal.
Because now he feels the weight of aristocratic obligation. Now he has an estate, he needs an heir, he needs a wife to manage the massive staff and the accounts. He realizes Mary is solid, smart, and pragmatic. He doesn't want her because he loves her mind. He wants her because she would make an excellent estate manager for his new wealth.
But this triggers Tom's massive insecurity spiral. Oh my God, I was crying on my couch. Tom finds out Ryder is rich and wants to propose, and Tom completely folds inward. He decides to graciously step aside because he thinks Mary deserves wealth and Pemberley-level estates in Italy. He thinks, I'm just a poor northern junior barrister. I can't compete with £10,000 a year.
Let's put that money into context. £10,000 a year in the Regency-era is the equivalent of a multimillionaire, bordering on billionaire status today. It is unfathomable wealth. Tom's reaction is the classic overthinker's flaw driven by imposter syndrome. It's almost like an autoimmune response.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
The threat of Ryder's wealth enters the system. And instead of attacking the threat, Tom's anxiety attacks his own relationship with Mary. He tries to make Mary's choice for her. Instead of just going to Mary, treating her like an equal, and saying, hey, Ryder's going to propose, he has all this money, but I love you and I can offer you a good life. What do you want?
Mm.
He just decides on her behalf that she should have the money. And he ghosts her. He literally disappears on the mountain.
It's so frustrating. I was yelling, use your words, Tom! But it sets up the grand finale perfectly. The mountain climb. Ryder abandons everyone in the middle of a hike to go look at a storm, proving once again that he's completely irresponsible and would be a terrible father because he'd probably leave his kids in a carriage to go look at a double rainbow.
100%. He has zero situational awareness.
But then, the plot twist of the century, Caroline Bingley, the matchmaker from hell. She writes a nasty, spiteful, venomous letter to Tom. She wants Ryder for herself, obviously, because she's a social climber. So she writes to Tom, basically rubbing his face in the class divide, telling him about Ryder and Mary trying to secure Ryder by making sure Tom stays away.
The mechanism of accidental matchmaking here is delicious. Caroline's attempt to ruin things actually provides the exact clarity Tom needed. Her letter is so dripping with aristocratic condescension that it snaps Tom out of his spiral. He realizes how manipulative and genuinely unhappy these high society people are, and he realizes Mary, his brilliant, fact-loving Mary, does not belong in a viper's nest with people like Caroline Bingley.
Yeah.
He realizes his love is actually a safer, better harbor for her than Ryder's money. He runs back to her.
And the proposal. I was unwell. I needed a minute to recover. The dialogue was absolutely perfect. Tom runs up to her breathless and says, I cannot offer you great wealth or Italy, but I can offer you my love and my devotion. He lays it all out. No poetry, no flowery, Byronic nonsense, just facts, just a concrete promise.
Beautiful.
And Mary delivers the most iconic response of the entire series. She looks at him, totally grounded, and says, I never wanted Mr. Ryder. I have always loved you.
Chills. Absolute chills. It is the perfect emotional payoff. She stood 10 toes down, rejected the fairy tale wealth that society told her she should want, and demanded the actual, authentic love she needed. And she got it.
Okay, babes, we need to take a collective breath, have a massive sip of our frozen rosé, and maybe stretch our legs, because we need to talk about the toxic traits we just witnessed. It's time for our first segment, the Regency Red Flag Rankings.
Let the judgment begin. I have my analytical clipboard ready. We are rating the characters on 5 key criteria: communication, emotional intelligence, yearning ability, delusion, and marriage potential.
Okay, category 1, communication. I am starting strong and controversial by giving Tom Hayward a terrible score.
Ooh, really?
I love him. He is my endgame. I would die for him, but I'm giving him a 2 out of 10 for communication. You cannot just disappear into the mist without a word just because you got insecure about another man's bank account. Use your words, barrister. You argue in court for a living. You present evidence to judges. Argue for your own relationship.
I agree. The ghosting was a major demerit for Tom. It was cowardly. But I am giving William Ryder a flat absolute 0 for communication.
A 0. Explain your math.
Because communication is a two-way street, and it requires the active mechanism of listening. Ryder completely ignores Mary every single time she says no to him. She rejects him, she asks for physical space, she tells him explicitly that she prefers facts to his whimsy, and he just steamrolls right over her boundaries. He hears only what he wants to hear. He projects his own desires onto her. If you're only broadcasting and never receiving, you are not communicating. 0.
Valid. So incredibly valid. Okay, next category. Emotional intelligence.
I'm giving Mary the top marks here, a full 10 out of 10. It took her a while to get there, but she finally shed the trauma of her upbringing. She understood her own internal needs well enough to know that Ryder's wealth wouldn't regulate her nervous system or make her happy, and she had the immense emotional maturity to forgive Tom's insecurity spiral. That is incredibly high EQ.
I love that for her. She did the internal work. And on the flip side of emotional intelligence, I am giving Mrs. Bennet negative 1 million points.
Accurate. The math checks out.
She is a toxic walking cloud of negativity. She has 0 ability to read a room, 0 ability to empathize with the emotional states of her own children, and she actively destroys the self-esteem of her daughter because she's projecting her own profound anxieties about poverty. She is emotionally bankrupt. Negative 1 million.
No notes. She needs intense psychotherapy. Okay, category 3, yearning ability. Who brought the heat?
Oh, Tom Hayward. 10 out of 10, no notes. The way this man looks at Mary when they are discussing root vegetables, that is top-tier Olympic-level yearning.
He was focused.
He looks at her like she is the only person in the room, the only person in the entire county of Hertfordshire. It's that quiet, desperate, white-knuckled yearning of a man who thinks he isn't good enough but physically cannot stop staring. I eat it up. It sustains me.
I will give Tom his flowers for the root vegetable yearning. It was very potent. But I want to elevate the conversation and shout out Mary's internal yearning. While she's in the Lake District, sitting by the water, reading Wordsworth, you can see the profound yearning for a bigger life, for intellectual independence, for peace. It's not just romantic yearning directed at a man, it's existential yearning directed at the universe. It's a very soft girl summer kind of yearning, and I respect it deeply. 8 out of 10 for Mary.
Okay, next category, delusion. We have some incredibly strong contenders here.
I am officially crowning Caroline Bingley the absolute queen of delusion.
Queen of delusion. Bow down. 10 out of 10. She genuinely thinks she can secure William Ryder's hand in marriage while simultaneously acting like an absolute swamp monster to everyone around her. Let's look at the logic. She has the charm of a wet piece of cardboard and the personality of an angry wasp, and she thinks, yes, this wealthy, fun-loving man will definitely want to be legally trapped in a house with me for the next 40 years. It's a complete disconnect from reality. Delusional.
She really thought sending that spiteful, vitriolic letter to Tom was going to be her grandmaster chess move, and it spectacularly blew up in her face. But I will argue that Ryder is equally delusional. He is a 10 out of 10 on the delusion scale for thinking Mary would willingly become a social pariah just to drink wine with him in Italy. He really thought he was so magnetically irresistible that a deeply practical, reputation-conscious woman would just throw her entire life, her family, and her safety away for some Italian sunshine in his symmetrical face. Sir, get a grip on reality. It's the delusion of extreme entitlement. He has never been told no, so he literally cannot process it. Very dangerous. Okay, final category in this segment, marriage potential. Let's settle the debate once and for all.
I will fiercely, aggressively, and violently defend Tom Hayward as the ultimate endgame. 10 out of 10 marriage potential. He's stable, he has an actual functioning job, he is funny, he matches her freak, and most importantly, he respects her mind. When they get married, they're going to have the coziest, nerdiest little townhouse in London, and they're going to be so deeply happy reading parallel books by the fire.
I have to agree, even though it pains me to side with the man who ghosted. I know a lot of people online are like, but Ryder is so hot. Ryder brings out her adventurous side. Ryder has an estate. And I will admit, Ryder is like a golden retriever puppy. He is very pretty, he is very energetic, and he likes to swim. But babes, a golden retriever puppy will chew up your favorite leather shoes, pee on your expensive Persian rug, and run away the second you open the front door. Ryder is actually just Mr. Wickham in disguise with a much better PR team. He would be a fun 3-week fling, a fantastic summer mistake in Florence. But as a legally binding husband? Terrible. He would forget your anniversary because he was looking at an interesting bird. Tom is the only mathematically sound answer.
A summer mistake. I love that. I'm adding summer mistake to my vocabulary. Okay, speaking of summer mistakes and socializing, let's move into our next segment, book club happy hour.
The premise here is simple. If we were crashing high society right now, dressed to the nines in empire waist gowns, walking into a glittering Regency ballroom, here's exactly how we would navigate the social warfare of the room. We each have to choose 4 people based on specific prompts. 1 to have rosé with, 1 to gossip with, 1 to absolutely avoid at all costs, and 1 we would accidentally fall in love with.
I am so ready for this. Okay. My person to have rosé with is Mrs. Gardiner. Easy. No contest. Easiest decision of my life.
The only correct choice, honestly.
She is a real one. I know she would take one look at me, hand me a crystal glass of whatever they drank back then. Let's pretend she organically invented the Ninja Slush in 1810 using ice from the estate. And she would give me the best, most grounding, psychologically sound life advice. She would tell me to dump whatever toxic, avoidant man I was texting, and she would be absolutely right. She is the therapist of the Regency era.
I love Mrs. Gardiner. She is an icon, but my choice for rosé is actually Tom Hayward.
Wait, Tom, over Mrs. Gardiner?
Yes, specifically to forcefully loosen him up. I would get 2 massive glasses of frozen rosé into his system, and I would make him stop overthinking his entire existence. I would sit him down in a quiet corner behind a pillar and be like, Tom, look at me, listen to my words. You're a catch, you have a pension. Stop acting like a martyr, drink this pink slush, regulate your breathing, and go tell that brilliant girl you love her. He just needs a gay best friend to yell at him and give him a pep talk.
He really, really does. He needs a hype man. Okay, who are you gossiping with?
Oh, this is tricky. You know what? I think I'm gossiping with Anne Baxter. She dumped Tom. She secured a new, wealthy fiancé in record time. She clearly knows the exact roster of every eligible man in London. She knows their bank accounts, and she knows exactly what their fatal flaws are. I want to see her spreadsheets. I want her data. Who are you picking?
Oh, I'm picking Mr. Hurst.
Wait, stop. Mr. Hurst.
Yeah.
The guy who just aggressively sleeps on the sofa and eats cold meats for the entire series?
Yes, because think about the mechanics of his existence. Mary actually got him talking about horse betting right before the hike. Do you know what that means? It means this man sits quietly in the corner of every single major societal event, pretending to be asleep, but he is actually listening to everything. He is a sponge.
Okay, I see the vision.
And he's a gambler. He absolutely has the dark, degenerate tea on the whole ton. He knows who owes money to the bookies. He knows who is secretly bankrupt. He knows who is cheating on who. If you get him talking about the ponies and ply him with sherry, he will spill all the society secrets. He is the gossip girl of 1810.
That is open source intelligence gathering at its finest. You are a visionary. The quiet ones who pretend to be asleep always have the darkest tea. Okay, who are we absolutely avoiding at this party?
Both of us, at the exact same time, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Caroline Bing.
Caroline Bingley. She is a walking biohazard.
I would cross the cobblestone street to avoid her. I would hide behind a potted fern. I would fake a cholera outbreak. But I'm adding Mrs. Bennet to my avoid list as well. Honestly, sharing a confined oxygen space with Mrs. Bennet would cause an immediate cluster migraine behind my left eye.
Literally.
I would have to be carried out on a medical stretcher. The constant complaining, the manufactured nerves, the screeching about entails and inheritances. No thank you. I value my peace.
Totally. Okay, the final category. The dangerous one. Who would you accidentally fall in love with at this party?
Look, I am a rational, analytical person. I spot red flags and structural behavioral flaws for a living. I would probably accidentally fall in love with someone totally boring but financially stable, like a background extra who works as a senior clerk in a London bank.
You are totally dodging the question. Come on, name a main character.
Fine. If I'm being brutally honest, I would shade you for this, but the let's go climb a mountain and disregard societal rules energy is temporarily intoxicating.
Yeah.
I could see myself having 2 glasses of wine, seeing William Ryder dancing with unbridled, sweaty joy and thinking, I can fix him. I know logically I can fix him. The structural damage is too deep, but I would think in my hubris that I could.
Thank you for your honesty, because I admit it fully. I'm not even hiding it. It would be William Ryder. I know the red flags. We just spent 20 minutes ranking the red flags. I know his communication is 0. I know he would ruin my life and my credit score. But the unbridled joy, the spontaneous dancing, the laughing, the incredibly pretty, symmetrical face. After 2 glasses of our frozen rosé, I would be like, yes, William, let's go to Italy. Let's ruin my reputation. Let's live on poetry and olives. It would absolutely work on me. I am weak. My prefrontal cortex would shut down.
You're weak, your executive function would be compromised, and 6 months later you would be writing me desperate, tear-stained letters from Florence begging for bail money and a carriage ticket home.
And you would send it, you would complain, but you would wire the funds. Okay, let's move on before I make any more terrible fictional life choices. It is time for the main character energy awards. Who secured the bag and who just brought the unnecessary drama?
Award number 1, most romantic.
This has to go to Tom Hayward. For matching Mary's freak and making empirical facts feel like poetry. When he says, I can offer you my love and my devotion, it isn't flowery, manipulative nonsense. It's a concrete promise. It's a contract. In a world where men use words to trap women, Tom uses words to offer her a safe harbor. That is true romance.
Co-signed. The mechanics of his proposal are flawless. Our next award. Biggest overthinker.
We have to give it to Tom Hayward again. The man literally ghosted his true love because he convinced himself through a massive web of cognitive distortions that a rich guy who acts like a toddler would be a better financial advisor for her life. Tom, buddy, we love you, but you need cognitive behavioral therapy. You cannot make monumental life decisions for other people based entirely on your own imposter syndrome.
Truly a masterclass in psychological self-sabotage. Moving on to
most dramatic entrance.
Oh, this is William Ryder. No contest. He wins this by a landslide. Crashing a peaceful, restorative nature vacation with the absolute worst, most toxic people in England, just a flaunt your newly acquired Lady Catherine money. It's giving reality TV villain. It's giving, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to produce good television. He literally showed up, flipped a boat into a freezing lake, ruined the entire energetic vibe, and tried to steal a girl. Dramatic entrance of the year.
The boat flip is what sends me into orbit. It is so chaotic.
Okay, next award. Soft Girl of the Week.
This goes to our queen, Mary Bennet. For shedding the immense, suffocating weight of family trauma, refusing to settle for a man who didn't respect her boundaries, sketching disastrous drawings of mountains and completely owning how bad they are and demanding the love she actually wants. She didn't let Ryder dazzle her with his wealth, and she didn't let Tom's insecurity deter her from her ultimate goal. She secured the bag on her own terms.
We love a self-actualized, healed queen, and our final award, most likely to write a 4-page letter.
This has to go to Caroline Bingley, purely out of spite and malice.
Pure, unadulterated, weapons-grade hater energy. Her accidental matchmaking letter deserves this award. The sheer effort it takes to be a hater in the 19th century. You can't just send a text. She had to sit down at a desk, sharpen a quill, dip it in ink, and write page after page of absolute concentrated venom, thinking she was destroying a relationship. And all she did was give Tom the psychological push he needed to realize she was awful and Mary was perfect. Congratulations, Caroline. You played yourself through your own correspondence.
She wrote a 4-page letter and became the architect of her own demise. You absolutely love to see it. Okay, babes, we have one final segment, and it might be the most crucial for our survival. It's the Faux Baddie Regency Survival Guide.
Because let's be real, if we were magically dropped into the Lake District tomorrow in the year 1810 or whatever, we would not survive on poetry alone. We have 0 practical survival skills. We cannot churn butter. We cannot sew. We need a tactical pack list. We each get 5 essentials for surviving high society.
Let's alternate. Item number 1, one outfit. I demand a dress dyed in Tyrian purple.
Oh, dropping the deep historical trivia. Explain the mechanism of the purple.
Yes, because in the show, they are looking at fabric in the shop, and they mention Tyrian purple. And if you look into the history of this, it comes from the Greek myth about Hercules' dog biting a sea snail on the beach, and its mouth turned purple.
Fascinating.
Historically, this dye was extracted drop by drop from the mucus of the murex sea snail. It took thousands of snails to dye a single garment. It was so insanely expensive that it literally became the symbol of Roman emperors and absolute royalty. If I'm going back in time, I want the most expensive, mythically significant, biologically complex dye available. I want to look like royalty. What is your outfit?
See, I want to be obscure but psychologically intimidating. When Tom is struggling to pick fabric in that same scene, he suggests Drake's neck with a splash of nun key, which I think means a specific shade of iridescent mallard green and a weird, murky yellow. I want that. I want a dress that sounds like an encrypted Wi-Fi password. I want people to look at me and be visually confused but deeply intimidated by my color palette.
Drake's neck. It sounds like an insult, like a disease you catch in the damp English countryside. Okay, item number 2, one snack. Look, I am taking my modern sensibilities with me. I demand a massive, sprawling, artisan charcuterie board, and because it's the Regency era and I have status, I require 3 footmen to carry it behind me at all times. I want a constant, uninterrupted supply of cured meats, artisanal cheeses, and honeycomb while I judge people in the ballroom.
The logistics of navigating a crowded ballroom with 3 men carrying cured meats is terrifying, but I respect the vision. My snack. I am insisting on a pocket full of raw root vegetables and grains.
Why? Are you feeding the carriage horses?
No, I am feeding the mice. Because as Tom and Mary empirically established, mice prefer root vegetables, not cheese. I want to attract a small army of field mice to deploy tactically whenever Caroline Bingley enters a room, just as a silent biological release of rodents to send her screaming and ruin her composure.
That is diabolical. That is literal biological warfare. You are a villain. Okay, item number 3, one beverage.
I think we both know the answer to this. It's the anchor of the episode.
Frozen rosé from the Ninja Slush.
But here's the massive logistical problem. There is no electricity in the Regency era. The grid does not exist. How are you powering the Ninja Slush machine?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I assumed the footman would handle it.
Don't worry, I have an engineering plan. We power it via kinetic energy from a water wheel. We set up shop right next to the lake in the Lake District. We hire a local carpenter to build a functioning, large-scale wooden water wheel. We attach the gears directly to the slush mechanism, and we churn out frozen rosé using the natural power of the English countryside. We will be the most popular people in the county. Mr. Darcy himself will come begging for a frosty cup.
You are an engineering genius. You solved the energy crisis of 1810. I love this. Okay, item number 4, one piece of gossip. If you are entering society, you need currency.
I want the exact, unredacted forensic details of Anne Baxter's sudden new engagement. I want the timeline. I want the financial receipts. I want to know exactly how much overlap there was between her dumping Tom and securing the new guy. That is high-value, weaponizable gossip.
I would trade that gossip for a small country estate. Okay, final item on the survival guide. One completely unnecessary luxury item.
I am bringing a pocket-sized modern English dictionary.
Why?
Read.
No, just to loudly and publicly correct Caroline Bingley's grammar whenever she tries to insult me. Just whip it out of my pocket, flip it open, and say, actually, Caroline, that modifier is bangling and your syntax is archaic. Embarrassing for you. Read a book. What is your luxury item?
Honestly, a customized wooden rowboat that is aerodynamically and structurally designed so that it physically cannot be tipped over by William Ryder. It has heavy outriggers. It has a massive weighted lead keel. If he tries to dramatically launch himself out of my boat to swim in his clothes like a lunatic, he will fail, the boat will remain steady, his center of gravity will betray him, and my Tyrian purple outfit will not get wet. A Ryder-proof boat. That might be the most practical, life-saving invention of the 19th century. You would make a fortune selling those to the women of London.
I thought so. Babes, this has been such an incredible, chaotic journey. From the absolute rage of Mr. Ryder's red flags to the sweet root vegetable yearning of Mr. Hayward, I feel like we have dismantled the patriarchy, analyzed the socioeconomics of the era, and fully healed our inner soft girls.
We really have. We went deep today. But before we wrap this up and head into the weekend, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. We spent this entire time judging William Ryder for being blinded by his immense privilege and trying to force Mary into his version of romance. But our modern dating lives, how often do we actually act like Ryder? How often do we ignore what a person actually needs or who they actually are because we're convinced our vision of the relationship is superior? Next time you try to rescue someone or change them to fit your aesthetic, ask yourself the hard question. Are you genuinely being a Tom Hayward, offering a safe harbor based on facts and respect? Or are you just being a William Ryder, violently tipping the boat because you want to swim? Oh my God, that is deep. That is going to keep me awake tonight. I need to reevaluate my entire dating history.
It's just something to mull over while you sip your slushies. And speaking of which, we need to hear from the Snark Squad. You know we thrive on your messy, brilliant opinions, so hit the comments and tell us everything. Yes. First of all, weigh in on the great debate. Frozen rosé through the slush machine, is it elite or is it overrated? Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings, but also know that if you say overrated, I will silently judge your palate.
Secondly, which of our chaotic life lessons hit the hardest this week? Are you running from the seeing where life takes me profiles, or are you currently conducting unpaid investigative journalism on LinkedIn?
And be honest with us. Are you fully embracing soft girl summer with zero guilt, resting your joints and elevating your charcuterie boards? Or are you still pretending to be a fitness influencer? We are a safe, judgment-free space for failed Pilates goals.
And finally, regarding the other Bennet sister, which character completely stole the show for you? Are you Team Tom for the stability and the facts? Or are you a delusional Team Ryder apologist hoping for an Italian summer mistake? Let us know in the comments.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, babes. You are the absolute best part of our week. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your favorite book-loving, drama-obsessed bestie.
And until next time, remember the great overarching lesson of the Lake District. Do not let an emotionally stunted aristocrat tip your boat. Stay dreamy.
Stay delusional, and we'll see you on the Snark side.